Wuthering Waves is an inferior title.
Huh?
Wuthering Waves is one of those low-tier games that wants to be part of the Big Four.
Huh?
Wuthering Waves developers have pretty much admitted that they can't make enough money and pretty much decided to sell their soul.
Man, get the fuck out of here, nigga!
Or at least, that's what this video we're going to be reacting to today has to say. What's good, guys? It's your boy CJ, and I know I've been gone for a while. I've been taking care of life, taking care of things, and I've been getting sent a lot of videos. A lot of people want me to react to certain creators and certain things, and I just really haven't had the time. I've been focused on a lot of things, but this one got my attention. You see, I got this video sent to me about 5 times, right? I even got people's reactions to this video sent to me, which was pretty interesting. Dare I say, I decided to take a look at the video, and within the first like 30-40 seconds, everything I just said in the intro was pretty much put out there. And there's a lot of interesting things. I did watch a little bit of the video, not all of it, just a little bit, enough to give myself some context and get me hyped enough to want to react to it. So today we're going to be reacting to this video and getting to see what it is that this dude has to say regarding Wuthering Waves, how they've fallen off, how they don't make that much money, and how overall they're a greedy, predatory, scummy company. So without further ado, let's hop right in. Alright, so here we got the video, brutally honest thoughts on Wuthering Waves' growing levels of greed. Now, before I continue with this, I want to let y'all know, even though I cover Wuthering Waves on my channel, I am not a Kuro bot. I play a lot of gacha games. I play a lot of games in general, bro. I've played a lot of Arknights Enfield, Neverness to Everness. Bro, I have hundreds of videos / streams on Genshin Impact. I played Honkai Star Rail. I play all of these games. I enjoy them for what they have to offer. And at no point am I going to be a tribalistic cuck and start hating on one of them because I like another one. That's freaking weird. I just want to put that out there first and foremost. But with all that out the way, let's hop on in and see what Homeboy has to say, if he's cooking or if he's going to get cooked.
Kuro Games is not the same as it used to be.
Okay.
Wuthering Waves used to be the forefather of generosity and lack of greed in the gacha space.
When was Kuro Games known, or Wuthering Waves at least, as the forefather of generosity in the gacha space? I'm pretty sure Wuthering Waves is just your standard general game. It's not like overly generous to where we're like, holy shit, bro. It's not really like that. It's just, it's good. It's on average, it's pretty good. You're allowed to get pretty much almost all the characters you like. You skip a couple of patches, you get the characters you like, you get your full teams. But the forefather of generosity in the gacha space, that's a crazy title to give him. So we're starting the video off, you know, dropping some glaze. I'm assuming we're climbing because there's going to be a massive drop off into what he has to say, where he's going to be hitting them woo-wah fans right in the feels.
Paving way for other gacha games to come through to be even more generous when fighting against the greed of Genshin Impact.
Yo, we're just starting. Homeboy is already throwing up WUA players versus Genshin players. Yeah, WUA is very generous and Genshin is not generous. Or at least that's this beginning part.
At the very least, that's how it used to be. But nowadays, it seems as though Wuthering Waves is actually becoming less generous over time, and Genshin Impact is becoming more generous over time.
So here's the problem with videos like this. And I feel like some of these creators, they don't learn from this, bro. And then they face the consequences of what they're doing or the people they're kind of having to deal with. And then they're like, oh, it's just the communities. Bro, look, when you make videos like this, talking about your brutally honest thoughts on Wuthering Waves' growing levels of greed, there is zero reason for you to bring up Genshin Impact, for you to bring up Honkai Star. There really isn't. You can absolutely build a very solid video without having to bring them up. What you're doing right here is exactly what tribalism is all about. You're pitting the communities against each other. Right now, the WUA players are like, yeah, bro, we were better than Genshin. We were more friendly, bro. We was giving out things for free. And Genshin players are over here feeling like, yo, this motherfucker talking shit about Genshin with WUA being trash. Like, they're already beefing. And I'm sure within the next part of the video, you're probably going to go into how WUA is now trash and Genshin is better, which once again would make Genshin players be like, oh, hell yeah, we're now up. And then WUA players be like, oh, you an asshole. So you're pretty much farming hate from both sides at the end of the day. That's not a smart way to go about doing things. Now, I'm not the greatest content creator of all time. I don't average hundreds of thousands of views, but I can tell you I know how to deal with these communities like they're the back of my hand, bro. And this tribalistic shit, y'all got to quit that shit when it comes to making your videos.
It sounds absolutely absurd and ridiculous to say, but you'll see what I'm talking about shortly. In this video, we're basically going to be talking about how Kuro Games sold their soul. They want.
So right here was when I first was like, wait, what? Right? I listened to this very beginning, guys. I probably listened to about 2 minutes because this is a long video, and I was like, I'm not going to watch the whole video to then react to it again, bro. So I watched like 2 minutes. I'm keeping it a stack. But right about here was when I was like, what? Okay, what is Homeboy on about? So it starts off with Kuro Games sold their soul. So let's go ahead and see what he says.
To be part of the big boys, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, Endless Zone Zero, and be in the conversation of the
Wuthering Waves sold their souls so they can be in the conversation of these titles. So they can be part of the big boys with Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, and Genshin Impact. That's what this guy is saying on his video, right? That's why Kuro sold their soul, okay?
Big Four, and yet they keep employing practices that you only see in lower tier gacha games.
But Kuro is employing practices that you only see in lower tier gacha games, okay? I want to hear what these lower tier practices are that you only see in lower tier gacha games. I want to see what it is that Kuro is doing that is some bottom feeder, them 99-cent games, bro, them trash ass games. What is Kuro doing that is pretty much the same as those games, right?
Games that aren't AAA ones. So why is it that they want to have the reputation of being a big dog, and yet they keep using the tactics found in lower tier games? Now, I say lower tier not in the sense that they're worse games, but in the sense that they just don't have as much budget, which would make them not AAA. Because AAA is indicative of budget and only sometimes quality. And all of this greed that has been changing Kuro over time really culminates in the Cyberpunk collab, where
we're going to talk about the Cyberpunk collab. I've dropped like 2 videos on that before I took my like 2.5 week break. And I have some, now that I've played more with the Cyberpunk theme and I've enjoyed what they got to offer and also like felt everything that it has to offer, I have more thoughts regarding Cyberpunk collab and the characters, but we'll get into that in a second.
It's so greedy, so egregious, all you can do is shake your head at how unbelievable it is.
Okay.
We're also going to talk about how did we get here? What even happened? How did Kuro get like this? All right, let's talk about it. This really starts with skins. Kuro Games has been adding.
See, right here was when I said, oh, hell nah, bro. You did not just make a video titled Wuthering Waves Growing Levels of Greed, and you start by talking about the skins. First and foremost, these motherfuckers at Kuro Games suck ass. Like straight up ass, bro, when it comes to skins. I'ma just be real. I'ma keep it a stack. When it comes to giving us cosmetics, they suck ass, bro. It just is what it is. Look, those of you that know, I own almost all the skins in the game. Not the ones like, for example, the brand new Mornier skin, because I haven't been playing, right? And I never really liked the Peach Blossom skin for Jin Shi, but every other outfit I own. Almost the cosmetics that are in the game I own, apart from like very exclusive little crappy things, but almost everything I own. I don't own all the bike skins, but I do own the Hiyuki one because that's my baby girl. And I gotta be honest with you, bro. When you compare Wuthering Waves, right, to like even, bro, I'm not even going to go out of the way and compare it to all these other titles that might create some, sort of tribalism. I'll compare it to Punishing Gray Raven, another title by Kuro Games. When you compare the quality and the creativity of the skins in Wuthering Waves to like Punishing Gray Raven, dog, at that point, I can say Kuro moves like a low budget gacha game company, because these skins are like, they're okay, they're not bad, but ain't nobody out here saying, holy crap, the greatest skin of all time, I have to get this. Bro, let's keep it a stack. Shangli skin, I have it. I love Shangli. I think her normal skin is probably better. It looks cooler, at least. Cardathea skin, or not Cardathea, Carlotta skin, all these CA characters. Carlotta skin, I like it just because when she pulls out the gun from her booty, you get a, close up of her booty. But other than that, it's a very basic skin, nothing too crazy, right? Zani skin, guys. Y'all know my story with Zani skin. And for those of you that don't, a while back, like 5 months before we got the Zani skin, several months before we got the Zani skin, I was on my Discord talking crap because I wasn't pleased with like the skins that they were given in the game. And I said to my community, it's written, I even made a video about it. I said, watch, the next skin is going to be a turtleneck sweater for Zani. Brother, like 4 months later, we get a turtleneck sweater for Zani, bro. Hey, listen, I'm not saying I work for Kuro, but hey, there are signs, And I ended up making a video about that where I showed that I talked about this. I talked about the skins in the game, and then I showed a screenshot of Zani's skin. It was a leak. Kuro Games struck my channel, bro. I had a strike for 3 months because these motherfuckers said, nah, bro, you can't be showing an ugly turtleneck sweater. And I know some of y'all are going to say, these skins are not ugly, CJ. Listen, they're not ugly. They're just basic as fuck. So when we got to this part of the video, when he was going to go in with the skins, I was like, oh my God, here we go. First off, bro, I'm going to be honest. I don't care if a skin is priced at $5 or $1,000, right? The reality of it is we don't need these skins. We don't need glider skins. We don't need bike skins. With that said, though, I've always said I prefer them to obviously be affordable for the people that want to get them, and even better if we can get them for free. If they give out free cosmetics and free things, I'm all for it and I'm happy. So when it comes to the skins in this game, if they're like $30, $40, yes, that is obviously way too expensive for a dirty-ass skin, 100%. But everything in a gacha game is too expensive for what you're getting back. I'm going to just give you guys a quick example, and I know I ramble a lot, but I've been gone, so enjoy it, right? Yesterday, I was on Steam. They were having like the summer sale or something like that, bro. I went on Steam. I was talking with my girl. We ended up, I kid you not, chat, we ended up adding about 25 items to my shopping cart. And I say 25 items because every time I buy one game, I got to buy it twice, because, me and my girl, we be playing the same games. So it was a good amount of games. It was like 13 games, right? We bought them twice, 13 games. I went and looked at my cart when I did my purchase. It was like $120. $120 for like 13 games for 2 people. That's a whole lot of games. After that, I went back to Wuba. I was playing Wuba, and I've been trying to get a dupe of Lucilla because that's my girl. She works with Hiyuki. I went to the store to buy some top-ups. I looked at the $100 pack, and I was like, this shit gets me like 50 summons. That's like about a little over halfway to pity. This gives me about a little bit over half pity. Not even a full pity, not even guaranteed. You're telling me right now that I could buy 13 games for the price of like 50 summons that doesn't even guarantee me a cap. Bro, long story short, when it comes to all these games, they're all predatory. But when it comes to the skins, that's probably the least predatory thing because you don't have to get them. They don't serve any purpose other than looking good. And just letting you know, if you're not a streamer, if you're not a content creator, and you're looking at these skins and saying, oh my God, man, these skins are so nice, but they're so expensive. Go get some mods. There are mods out there that look 100 times better than any skin that Kuro will probably release. They look so much better, and a lot of them are free. But enough rambling. We talked for like 5 minutes. Let's move on over because the video is going to continue to get interesting.
An alarming amount of skins in the game. They've been adding skin after skin after skin. Now,
okay, I'm telling y'all, bro, there's going to be so many pauses because this right here is one of those scenarios where, like, I feel, I'm not a big content creator, right? I don't even take this content creator shit seriously, but I feel like these other creators that drop videos almost every day, that do guides and tutorials and continue to drop video after video every single day where they treat this like a job, they gotta be more prepared. They gotta learn and like proof what they say before dropping it, because then other people are going to attack them. And I come from a place where you got to watch what you say, watch how you move, watch how you talk, everything, bro. You got to be very careful with how you move or shit can get serious. So when it comes to these CCs, when they make mistakes like this and when they do things like this that leave so much room for them to get attacked, I often tell myself, this has to be bait. They have to be doing this specifically to generate a reaction. There is no way they're not. And this statement right here is a perfect example of that. Let's go ahead and bring it back a little bit. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I want you to listen to what he's about to say.
Let's talk about it. This really starts with skins. Kuro Games has been adding an alarming amount of skins in the game. They've been adding skin after skin after skin.
Wuthering Waves has been adding an alarming amount of skins in the game. They've been adding skin after skin after skin. Now, what I'm about to talk about and show you guys is not my attempt at starting a tribalistic conversation, nor is my attempt to shit on any of the other games I'm about to talk about, but rather to directly address what he's saying with his own points, right? Earlier in the video, he said that Wuthering Waves is moving like a low budget or low tier gacha game because of certain things. And the first point is skins. He also said that it's moving like it wants to be part of the big four. And on screen, he had games like Genshin Impact. He had games like Honkai Star Rail. He had games like ZZZ, right? Like the big budget games. He's saying that Wuthering Wave wants to move like them, but is doing predatory things like his first example being skins. And I want to show you something very interesting. If we go out of here and we go into this little tab right here, it says Wuthering Waves currently features 9 unlockable character skins, okay? And we can get deeper into the gliders, into the bikes, but that's even more useless things where skins matter even less. But nonetheless, 9 unlockable character skins in Wuthering Waves. And if we go back to what he's talking about, he's showing the character skins and talking about the character skins. He says Wuthering Waves is a low tier or moving like a low tier budget game because of things like this, right? 9 unlockable character skins. From here, we move on over to a game like Genshin Impact that currently has 22 character skins. That's more than double what Wuthering Wave has. Then we go on over to Zelda Zone Zero, and they have 57 agent outfits. God damn, bro. ZZZ is cooking with them fancy outfits. Hell yeah. So they got 57 outfits. Hold on. You might want to know what's good. Here we have list of all the agent outfits. This outfit is freaking dope. I would have bought that instantly if I was playing ZZZ. But yeah, look at all the outfits that they have, which is great. I'm glad they're doing this. I think gacha games should always have skins. I think it's just the way it is, right? I love skins. But there's one more game I haven't brought up. What about Honkai Star Rail? Right? What about Honkai Star Rail? Because he did have that up there. They have profile pictures, phone cases, speech bubbles, phone wallpapers, name cards, pets, pom-pom outfits, Trailblazer room decorations, character skins, Trailblazer fashion, Stellar Couture. And some of these are free, just like WUA, just like Genshin, while others are paid, right? How to get Siren's bow skin, right? Top up in Cherish recollection events. Siren's bow skin, the promises, can be obtained by accumulating 20,000 Oniric shards during the 3.7 Cherish recollection event period. Players must spend real-world currency to get Oniric shards. So basically, this is similar to some of the things that like WUA does. For example, they did some bullshit with some crown, where like if you spend, you got a bunch of things, and then the final thing was just a crown, but by then I think you have gotten like a character, a bunch of other crap. Long story short, this is something that all of these gacha companies do. All of them. They all have skins, some more than others. Some are known for skins, but in general, right, skins is something that we see in most of these games. Like, it's not something unique to WUA, but let's continue and see what else he has to say.
Now, normally, this is totally fine, because skins in gacha games are par for the course. You'd see skins in Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, and the Zone Zero. It's an additional way to make revenue off of characters. Now, normally, skins in Wuthering Waves cost between $20 and $30. Now, in a normal context outside of this genre, that's obviously a ridiculous price.
Absolutely. Outside of gacha standards, when you look at anything in gacha, it's just ridiculous, bro. Like I was saying, bro, you look at the price of what you get for $100. So you look at $100 bundle, not no first time top up, just a $100 bundle, how it is. you get about 8,000 asteroids in WUA. And then you look at that and you're like, bro, that's not even a pity. Bro, you don't even have a guaranteed character. For those same $100, you can buy the ultimate deluxe edition of GTA 6. Keep that in mind. Whereas you get shit, nothing, silch, when you put that money into a gacha game, whether it's WUA, whether it's Honkai, whether it's Genshin, whether it's Arknights, it doesn't matter. $100 ain't shit, and in most gacha games, if not all of them, you ain't even reaching pity with that. So yeah, it's just in general, spending in these games is pretty fucking dumb. With that said, though, these aren't even the most expensive skins I've seen, bro. Like, I've played other games where they have like $60, $80 skins. Not saying that's good. That shit's a scam and a half. But at the end of the day, you don't have to buy the skins. We want them, but we don't have to buy them. But yeah, bro, gacha games just be scamming us left and right, or at least the ones that are, you know, dumb enough to get scammed.
However, I've seen cheaper skins, like an NCE skins can be $15, as low as $15. In Tower of Fantasy, skins are as high as $100. So,
bro, in Tower of Fantasy, that shit was so dope. For those of you that don't know, just quick recap, and this is why I don't hate on any of these gacha games, bro. I'm gonna just keep it a stack. Every single one of these gacha games has a feature that I wish the one that I play had. For example, in Tower of Fantasy, when you duped up a character and you got them 3 dupes, you got an exclusive, really cool looking variant skin for your own character. And it wasn't just a recolor. It was entirely different outfits just for duping up your character, right? Getting them dupes, which was freaking great. So there is a lot of things that a lot of these games have that I wish the ones that I do play had. So at the end of the day, they all have shit and they all have good things to them. So that's just a quick little thing I wanted to add there. Cool stuff from TOF.
A $20 to $30 skin, then again, this Jinxie skin is $50. That's actually like quite average in the space.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you would expect in all of the AAA gachas. So this is...
As someone that buys skins on almost, if not every single game that I play, like actually play every time they have skins, especially if they're for characters I like, I always buy them. Bro, I've bought skins in WUA. I bought skins in like, I've pulled for the skins in Neverness to Everness. In Girls Frontline, when they add skins in Arknights, I'll probably get that too. And I'll probably buy skins in almost any game that I like, as long as they have, you know, cool looks to them and they're not like overly expensive. We've already stated that almost everything is overly expensive here, but I'm talking about like extra. Like if a skin like this costs $60, they can suck my balls. Like, I'm not gonna buy it. But if a skin like this costs like $20, $25, it's still expensive. It's still outrageous. But that's the price that I pay in most of my other games. I personally think that skins like this should go for about $10, maybe $15 at most. That's just my opinion.
Isn't a problem. Not to mention many of the skins that Wuthering Waves makes,
unless it has exclusive VFX, animations, and all of that, then it can be like a $30, $40 skin, maybe.
Are really high quality and the players love them, right? Chun-Li's skin is absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. Carlotta.
Well, that's a fucking lie, and I own it. It's good, but I feel like this is a summer skin, and it looks like she's wearing like a 1998 grandmommy nightgown, bro. Like, she should at least be like this, and when she does her whole, you know, stripping animation where she takes her clothes off a little bit, I know you're asking, yo, your Shang-Li takes her clothes off? You know what I'm talking about. I feel that she should be left on her bikini. That's it. But it's just, it's all right.
Carlotta skin is decent. It's actually worse than her base outfit, but people love Carlotta, plus, and it's good enough, right? It gives a different vibe on the character. One of the rare cases that a skin is actually worse than the base design.
I don't think Carlotta's skin is worse than the base design. If anything, and this is just my take, I obviously love Shang-Li. I love full-grown women characters in these type of games. And I love Shang-Li's outfit. I think she still looks good. You get to see her even more. She looks hot, everything. But if we're talking about summer outfits, Carlotta's outfit gives me more summer vibes than Shang-Li's outfit. That's just the truth, bro.
Strange. But that's not the issue. Because they're not only adding skins for characters, they're adding skins in other areas too, in particular, bike skins. This is basic.
They've been adding cosmetics since the launch of this game via Battle Pass. Like, if you go to the Battle Pass and you pay the extra little bit of money, you usually get, like, the player cards and all that crap. So things like that have always been in here. Moving on to the bikes. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say about the bikes.
Where the problem starts. Bike skins have been plaguing the game ever since Kuro has introduced the motorbike.
Plaguing the game. I will say, Kuro, and I say this all the time. I was talking actually with a friend about this because it's really funny that we're worried about not having flight in future areas. And I told him this. Kuro has effectively made a billboard, a moving billboard that they can have in their game. Think about it. They're doing collabs with goddamn, what is that? Duck Off? Who the hell has heard of Duck Off? They're doing collabs with like Angry Birds. They're doing random collabs with random games. Basically, what they did, and as someone that graduated from publicity and marketing, I can tell you this, they've done a billboard there. So with that, they've done a lot. They have a canvas right here where they can add any collab that they want. They can add any pretty picture that they want and instantly gave themselves a source of income, right? With that said, though, they give us a lot of free shit for our bikes. They give us so much free shit for our bikes. Almost every patch now has some sort of livery for your bike. Almost every patch. And sometimes more than one. Bro, I think in the last like 2 patches, we've gotten like 8, 9 liveries for our bike for free. So, you know what I'm saying? It's annoying because I wish they gave us more shit, but it's also not that bad. These prices for the bike skins, though, $25 for them is a little bit expensive. I'm not even gonna lie. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the 3.4 trailer, I believe. 3.4 trailer in Devstream. The bike they had on there looks like, the body of it looks like a different bike. The wings and all that look like it all looks completely different to these base models. I could see a complete redesign of a bike costing $25, but the regular just color changes for 25 is a little bit much. I think this should be about 10 to 15 bucks for sure.
They're adding multiple bikes.
Yes, I got that because it belongs to Hiyuki, and I got to get everything regarding Hiyuki. But I did buy this one right here for 25 bucks. And I like, you could see little things like this right here, right? You can see the wheel, sometimes a little color of the trail. That changes a bit, but is it enough to merit a $25 price tag? I'm going to tell you no. Like, I wouldn't buy this if I was like just a normal player, but if I'm someone that like not only makes content, but is, you know, big into this game, yeah, I would definitely buy it. But a normal player, hell no, $25. Be smart with your money.
Skins that cost as much money as skins despite only having a fraction of the development time. $25 bike skins is absurd. No matter how good a bike skin looks, it's crazy for them to
It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money for a bike skin. Absolutely, I agree on that.
Sell a bike skin to you for $25. Of course, that's not only where it ends. They're also adding other skins in the game for your wings.
Glider. So see, here's the thing that I'm not understanding. I've always said anything that doesn't directly change your gameplay or give you a numerical advantage is fair game, bro. Anything. For example, when I was in Genshin, and this is a good example. When I was in Genshin and they dropped the Serenity Teapot, anybody knows that I love crafting games, base building games. I can spend 12 hours building a house in like Ark or whatever game that has building in it. When they dropped the Serenity Teapot, I was like, oh, this is lit. I was thinking that at one point they were going to sell different homes, different islands, different house cosmetics, right? Because games like Girls Frontline do that. They have like a dorm system and you can buy entirely new looking dorm decorations, like where they make your dorm look like a whole nother house, a whole nother building, right? So I figured that's just the way it was going to go. And like, I play Girls Frontline. I like Girls Frontline. I ain't never spend in none of those things. I ain't never going to spend on no goddamn $40 dorm look, like, you know what I mean? So when it comes to like gliders and when it comes to like the cosmetic of like a sword or something like that, bro, I buy it if I want it. If I don't want it, I don't care. A perfect example of this is recently they released some stupid little accessories, like some stupid little accessories for Lene and Mornier. They're really stupid, and I thought they should have been given out for free. I think that these little type of accessories should be given out for free. With that said, they do give out some for free, but they dropped those, and they said they were going to be $4 or $5 $4 or $5, and they were gonna go after that on sale for 400 astrites after the patch. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. You drop them for money for the people that want them now and that have the spare change, and then you make them, you know, free to play accessible by making them purchasable with astrites, right? I personally bought the Lene glasses for $4, right? I was like, why not? I want them now. So I put them on my Lene, and I had no problem paying the $4. I didn't care. I wish it would have been free, but I also didn't care. And then I have a friend that said, hell no, I'm not paying no damn $4. And he's waiting until they go on sale for astrites, which is a smart idea. So doing that is fine. But going back to the topic of the gliders and the bike skins, they're so irrelevant to like the progression in your game that I feel this is an absolute luxury. And the reality of it is, this is as clear as I can say it to you guys. Whether these wings cost $10 or $3, most free-to-plays wouldn't buy them anyway. The people that don't spend even $1 on a monthly, right? If this was $5 instead of 10, the people that are free-to-play that don't even spend $5 on a monthly wouldn't even buy this. They wouldn't, bro. They don't spend $5 on a monthly that gives you way more return for your buck, but they would buy. So it's not a matter of prices. Like, bro, this is luxury for the people that want to get it and be extra with it. Other than that, this is useless and doesn't change anything about your gameplay.
Have this $10.
And by the way, I'm not defending WUWA. This goes for any gacha game, whether it's Genshin Impacts and Zone Zero. Cosmetics are cosmetics. I welcome them into the game. Prices, hopefully, are friendly to the consumer. But at the end of the day, if something is not, we call them out. But then that's it. It's not that deep.
Wing set right here, where you get wings that
I bought that,
glow.
by the way.
They have this glowing trail behind them. You also get 300 astrite. Obviously, it's up to every individual person to decide whether this is a good value proposition for them. So I'm not telling you whether, whatever. We don't even need to talk about that. A $10 wing skin. Okay, that's interesting. These bike skins, generally speaking, look pretty good.
Yeah.
So this is not a scam in the sense that they're selling you a $25 bike skin that looks bad. Like in other games, there's a skin and it looks bad and it costs a lot of money. These skins actually look pretty decent.
Yeah.
Sure, less development time and more lazy than a character skin, and yet
Absolutely.
they can make a large sum of money off of them, but they actually are giving you a value proposition. Here's a really good skin that looks pretty good going around the world. It glows, it gives a trail, it's very interesting, and you get other perks alongside the skin as well. Of course, not only those characters get bike skins, we also have bike skins for other characters like Lene, Yuno, and Chisa.
Now, here's the thing. I feel those $10 bike skins are the perfect bike skin price for any bike, including the Lene and the Hyuki bike, because even though it does change their wheel color and there are certain things that change, like for example, if you look at the Hyuki right here, this changes, right? So there are some changes to them. I still, bro, it's 2.5 times more expensive, bro. Like I could buy the Chisa and the Yuno one and still have half of the money left to buy the Rover one. So technically, I could almost buy all 3 other bike skins up there instead of buying the Hyuki or the Amith skin. So I do think that the price is a little bit much for almost like, bro, I get white tires, bro. I get white tires and a little bit of extra design. 15 would have been fine. 15 would have been fine.
Okay, so now the bike skin problem is really starting to ramp up. These are $10 bike skins. Once you start seeing...
See, bro, it's hard to take things like this seriously because homie called it the bike skin problem. Like, bro, you're a regular player just playing the game and the fucking devs add a bike skin and you're like, oh my god, we have a problem, chat. Oh my god, how could they do this shit, bro? Nah, bro, they just done killed the game. Like, bro, nobody gives a shit. Like, they add a bike skin, I'm like, oh, cool, I'm gonna get it. Or, oh, that's a skip. And never again does it cross my... I'm gonna put it to you like this. I had forgotten that they had a Chisa and Yuno skin until they just came back. I had forgotten that was there, bro. So, it ain't a problem. It doesn't really matter.
How much skins Kuro Game has added, you're going to start to see the problem unfold before itself. Now, at the end of the day, this is kind of where things stopped for a while, right? Bike skins, character skins, and everyone was kind of like, oh, you know, it is what it is. To each their own. What are we even complaining about? Yeah. Okay. But once a company kind of enters in a new realm, they don't only stop there. Now they're adding new accessory skins on type of characters. I mean, this is about as lazy it could possibly get.
Guys, once again, this is not to bring up this predatory, tribalistic bullshit, because if you're going to be like that in my comments, I'm probably going to clown you myself. I'm going to tell you straight up. If you're in my comments hating on Genshin Impact or hating on Hoyo or hating on Kuro or hating on Arknights, I'm going to clown you, I'm going to make fun of you, and I'm going to troll you because I don't give a shit about none of that, bro. I like all these games, and when I don't like them anymore, I don't pay attention to them anymore. I don't need to attack them. I don't got to be like, I like WoW, and Genshin sucks. Like, you're weird if you do that. But I just want to bring this up real quick. He says this new era that they're entering, that this company, Kuro Games, is moving like a low-tier budget game and is trying to be one of the big three, right? One of the big four. Up there with like Genshin Impact, up there with like Honkai Star Rail, up there with like, you know, ZZZ. I just want to point this out real quick. I just want to point this out. You have decorations, bro. You have trailblazer fashion. You have little decorations like hats and shit. And goddamn Honkai Star Rail as well, which is cool. Look at all these little phone skins and shit. Look at all the phone skins, bro. People like seeing that shit. And that's a phone, that's a skin for your phone, dog, for your phone. Look at it, bro. Bro, they got hats and shit. Hold on, I seen a hat up in here, bro. I seen the dude with a hat on. Look, they got skins for the little, I don't know what that shit's called. I'm gonna call it Paimon. Yeah, they got skins for Paimon. They got plushies and shit. They got outfits, bro. Somewhere, look at that, bro. They got little hats in this bitch too. And while some of these can be free, absolutely, they got cosmetics for weapons, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, while some of these can be free, some of them are not. Some of them are not. Kind of like in WUA where some are free and some are not, right? So this is not something exclusively to like Wuthering Waves. And this is not something like, oh my God, how dare they do this? This is just extra. And the fact that we can buy these, but then we're going to be able to get them from the game with in-game currency makes it pretty damn good. Still, yes, spending $4 on some shades is stupid because you can't even really see them all too much. But 400 astrites seems pretty all right. I'll do that for sure.
Linné and Mornier are getting accessories, a pair of glasses for $4.
Yeah.
A halo above Mornier's head for $4.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, things are getting a little strange here. A $4 purchase? Now, this is probably the cheapest the skin is going to be. Why is that? Because this is in USD. And when you start converting to other currencies, it'll be more expensive. I mean, it's absurd to be selling a pair of glasses for $4. Of course, Kuro Games is trying to be a little generous. So after this version is over, these pair of accessories will be reduced to 400 astrite, which is about 2.5 wishes, which is phenomenal. Yeah. That's remarkable. So it's a little strange. You'll find that throughout this video, the answer of what's going on here is for money.
You don't say! Who would have thought? Who would have thought that a company is trying to do things for money? Matter of fact, who would have thought that a company that bases their entire model, and I'm not talking about Kuro, I'm talking about Kuro, Hoyo, Hypergriff, any gacha company, any and all gacha companies, who would have thought that a company that bases their model, their business model, on gambling for children with Gunner tactics would be worried about the money? A company that promotes hot, sexy gambling of characters on games that have the rating where children play them. You think these motherfuckers got some morals and shit? You think they your best friends? Of course it's for money. You don't say. Yeah, of course they do every single bit of movement and actions for money. Every company does this, bro. Let's just be real. So why would they drop a halo or some glasses for $4 and then make them available for free in-game currency? Well, because why not? Right? Why wouldn't they do that? I'm not saying it's good. Understand, I'm not saying these actions that these gacha companies take are good actions. All I'm saying is that that's why they do them. The fact that they dropped this for $4, and if you wait one patch, you can get it for in-game currency, I think is pretty good. And they drop it for $4 first, So anxious motherfuckers like me that want the glasses could instantly buy them, and boom, they just got a little bit of money out of that. They just got a little bit of cash. Why not? It's some stupid glasses. People could wait. If you're telling me that it's a problem that they released this for $4 for one patch, I think you have the problem. You have anxiety. You can't control your nut. Something's going on. It ain't that big of a problem. Whether Honkai did this, Genshin did this, I ain't your typical tribalistic fuck CC, bro. I'm not going to be out here like, woo, I can do this, but if Genshin does it. Nah, bro. The reality of it is, it ain't that big of a deal. If they would have never made it, be purchasable with asteroids, I would have been like, yeah, that's extra ass. It's still irrelevant. It's a stupid crown. I don't give a shit. But kind of shit. But the fact that they make it so where you can buy it with asteroids is pretty damn good. If they would have left it just $4, I probably still bought it. But still, you know.
Why is it that it costs $4 now, and yet if you wait, you can get it for 2.5 wishes?
How are you asking that question? I know that's probably a rhetorical question, but like, how are you asking that, bro? I'm pretty sure, like, bro, you make a lot of videos. You're probably a grown dude, right? You probably like, you know, in your 30s or something like that, 20s. And how are you going to ask, why would they do that? To make money. And it doesn't hurt nobody. This is not a thing that you have to get, nor is a thing that you barely know. Bro, have y'all played WUWA, guys? Have y'all played WUWA? Have y'all done rotations in WUWA? You ain't seen no goddamn glasses for more than like 2 seconds on a rotation of your character. Oh, there's a glass. Oh, they're gone. You know, so it's like, it's not that big of a deal, bro. Like, you could wait for a goddamn patch to buy these goddamn little attachments, bro.
I mean, that's a scam. There's absolutely no reason at all to purchase this skin whatsoever.
That's true. There is no reason to purchase the skin whatsoever, apart from you like the way it looks, which is the same for every other skin, right? Is it a scam? I don't think it's a scam, because you do it if you want. I think it's a dumb purchase, yes, but they're not scamming you. You're not getting a special benefit for buying it first outside of just getting it, right? You're not getting like the exclusive money version of the glasses that change colors and allow you to see through clothing. No, you're just getting the same shit. You're paying to get it first. Have you heard of early access games where you pay a little bit of extra money to get the game early? Right? Or those pre-orders where you'll pre-order the game, get like the super deluxe edition and get like 3 days early access. Same bullshit. Is it dumb? Yes. But is it a scam? Only if you let yourself be scammed by it.
Of course, unless you really want to give them your money. Except, out of everything that I've shown you thus far, this is literally the worst value proposition of all time. At least with these other $10 skins, it's kind of the same, right? You kind of purchase this skin for $25 and you get it, and that value stays the same for everyone. Here, you're kind of literally getting scammed. It's a scam because of the price decrease. Okay, that's only the beginning. Honestly, this is all bad, but it's only the tip of the iceberg. As I said, it only gets worse. They started adding skins in the...
It's only the tip of the iceberg. I want to point something out. I haven't seen anything of what we're talking about right now. I watched like 2 minutes of the video, so everything is brand new to me.
Game that you can't buy directly.
Yeah.
Okay, now...
This was from the... Not the... I don't consider that a spending event, but more of like a rebate event where the more you summoned, whether it was free-to-play summons or paid summons, whatever, the more you summoned, you unlocked things from the store and you were able to buy and get certain things. I'm gonna be real with that. I feel like things like that are just extra. They're additive, bro. Of course, there are certain items in there that I wish weren't in there. Like, for example, the bane of my existence, the one item I hate in Wuthering Waves more than everything, the transducers, developers, everybody in Kuro Games that decided to make transducers and make them so exclusive to where free-to-plays barely have any access to them. You can suck my balls. Straight up, I hate transducers, bro. I feel that transducers should be on almost every patch reset on like Tower or Whimpering Waste or Matrix, something where free-to-plays can have access to them, even if it's 1 or 2 per patch for free by just doing an event without having to use Coral, without having to do nothing, right? Sorry, I hate transducers. That's a little bit of a rant. But with this, it's like, bro, it's like a little accessory, like a little doll. The more you spent, you got this, and you got the Hiyuki cube as well. And I was like, oh, I wish everybody could have gotten those things. The Hiyuki cube, especially because she's the greatest character of all time. But it also wasn't that big of a deal. It was like, eh. Bro, what y'all gotta understand is like when devs apply FOMO tactics to certain things, don't act surprised. They do it with everything, bro. The entire premise of gacha is FOMO, right? So when it comes to this, sure, if you don't summon on Dania, you're not going to get Dania's accessories. Or if you don't summon around the patch when Dania's here, you won't get the accessories. But why are you so worried about getting the accessories if you're not even summoning the character? And even if you're summoning the character, but you get it on a free temple, like on one temple, and you don't have enough currency to get these items, it's also not that big of a deal because you still won by getting it early. So, little things like that. Some things are exclusive, some things are not, but at the end of the day, money.
We're getting somewhere new. We have this doll on Denia, and unfortunately, you can't just go into the accessory shop and spend $4 to buy this skin. Now all of a sudden, I'm kind of switching my argument. All of a sudden, the problem has gotten worse because now you have to do other steps that are more predatory than just being able to buy the skin. Somehow, on its head, suddenly just being able to buy a skin is actually generous. In order to get this Denia skin and other skins that I will show you, for example, this Hiyuki skin, where you kind of just get this hair accessory, this is not available in the shop to buy directly. Because chances are, if you can buy something directly, it'll be cheaper.
You know how you get those things? Like I said, you summon. The more you summon, you get this currency that you can use in the shop to get these accessories. Is that the best way to do it? No, I wish it were free through some sort of event that you just did and got the accessory for free. We all do. But the reality of it is, it's also not that big of a deal, bro. Like, it really isn't, bro. It really isn't that big of a deal. Like, if you're going to summon for Dania and you love her, you're probably going to summon enough to get her with a couple of dupes, maybe with her signature weapon. That might give you enough to get these characters, these little accessories. And even if it don't, bro, like, who the fuck cares about some random flower on Hiyuki's forehead or a little doll on Dania's waist? It ain't that big of a deal. Bro, like, it's once again those things that is like, if they only gave out cosmetics and things like this via either paid events or direct purchases, then it would suck. But the fact that they already give us cosmetics, attachments, bike liveries, and all these things for free, in my opinion, makes it valid for them to do certain other cosmetics via direct purchases, via top-up bonuses, via rebate, things like that. I think it's fair, right? Because they're already giving us some for free. And the same applies to every other gacha game, bro. If they already give you some for free, then they're gonna make their money with some other ones, okay? At the end of the day, even if this takes them 30 minutes to do and a day to program and code into the game, it still works. So they're going to try to get some sort of return for their investment.
Instead, for this Denia skin, the only way to get it is to get a special currency called Spindrift. Now, you can no longer get this. It's already passed. The event's over. But in order to get Spindrift, which is the secondary currency, in order to get, here we have Hiyuki accessory right here. Here's a Hiyuki cube that you can put on top of the bike skin. Here's the Denia doll, and I believe there's an Imeth one somewhere. You have to summon wishes in order to get Spindrift, which gives you have to summon a certain amount of times, to get Spindrift in order to get enough currency to purchase the skin. Now,
I want you guys to notice something. Convene Resonator 40 times. 40 times and you get 400, right? 40 times and you get 400. I want you to look over here. 400 to get the Hiyuki cube, 400 to get the Dania, you can't really see it right there, 600 to get the Hiyuki cosmetic. Long story short, by doing summons and doing some of their missions, you're, for the most part, going to be able to get these if you're summoning on the characters, on the banners during these events. You might not get everything. I'm going to tell you straight up, if you're free to play, you probably will not get everything. You won't get every single Radiant Tide, every single accessory, every single Phantom skin. You probably won't, but you'll still be able to maybe get the one you want for your character by simply summoning on it. So this type of rebate event, I fuck with it. I'm cool with it.
Skin. Here's the Denia doll, and I believe there's an Imeth one somewhere. You have to summon wishes in order to get Spindrift, which gives you have to summon a certain amount of times, to get Spindrift in order to get enough currency to purchase the skin. Now we're getting a little bit more greedy, huh? I can't just spend $4 all of a sudden. Now I have to spend potentially hundreds of dollars in order to summon 10, 20, 60 times, 90 ties in total. And then you have to get a recurring, repeatable refresh for wishing here. Of course, this also functions on the weapon banner, where you can use Spindrift in order to get the accessory as well. Now, that is an interesting twist of expectations. All of a sudden.
So here's the thing. He's saying, right? He's saying that he'd prefer to be able to buy these directly from the shop, and that's where the problem lies. Someone, as a free-to-play, can save to get their Hiyu key and their weapon, and summon during Hiyu key and their weapon, and get enough Spindrift to then get the cosmetics, whereas if they added them directly as purchases from the shop, free-to-plays would never have access to them unless they do the same thing that they're doing now, which is maybe a whole patch of them being, you know, paid cosmetics, and then they go into asteroids. But you've already said that, you know, the paid cosmetics is a problem, so you can't really win. In my opinion, having it like this is good. Would it be good maybe if after this event some of these items maybe got added to the shop the same way as the others? Maybe. But at the end of the day, when it comes to gacha games, when it comes to these characters, to your builds, it's all about exclusivity. What team do you have? The premium team, their signature weapons. You got the cosmetic for it, the outfit. It's all about that, generating FOMO, wanting certain things. So I understand that not everything can be sold or played or done in the same exact way. And I personally think, even as a free-to-play, even as someone that, I'm not a free-to-play, I'm saying even if I was a free-to-play, I would still prefer this over just having them be paid cosmetics only in the shop. Now, if they were like this, where, you know, they're $4 and then they're, you know, 400 asteroids, then by all means, that's fucking amazing. But this wasn't that big of a deal, and I don't think making them paid only cosmetics would make it any better. I think it'd actually make it worse.
And not being able to buy the skin makes things a little bit worse. Of course, here's the Hiyuki cube that you can purchase through Spindrift on your bike. So now here's more ways in order to accessorize your bike. Now we have a little bit more greed. Okay, now this isn't all in order.
I want to touch upon this before he gets to it, because I can already see the narrative he's painting, and I can tell where he's going to go with this, and I want to make something very clear. Because I heard it when this came out. This is not a $200 crown, okay? This is not a $200 accessory. I want you guys to understand that. I don't know if he's going to say that. But when this came out, there were the goofies that were saying that this was a $200 crown. Now, the reason they were saying that this was a $200 crown is because this was part of an actual spending event. The more you spend actual money, they would give you stuff during that particular event. So the more you spend, the more goodies you'd get. You could get things like characters. I believe you got a bike skin with Ameth on it. You got like a weapon. You got and not just like standard banner characters. I'm pretty sure there was some like limited 1.0 characters in there. So there was a lot of things you got by spending those $200, eventually reaching the crown. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
Order, but this is an order of egregiousness. We have this rover crown that's on the rover's head. I want you to guess within 1 second how much you think this rover crown cost.
Here we go.
I mean, this is just a small little crown on the top of someone's head. You can get this during the anniversary. This crown cost a whopping $100.
And bro, we're going back to it, bro. I'm not the biggest creator. Matter of fact, I don't even take this creator shit seriously, guys. I want to, but then I get so lazy. I hang out with the family. I start going outside, being a real human, and I forget, bro. I forget. I want to take it seriously, but I always end up not doing it. But I will, guys. I'm promising y'all I'm going to take it seriously, but that's besides the point. When I look at content creators like this that take their, you know, YouTubing more seriously, where they're uploading every day, and when they're part of the gacha community, and then they do things like this, it's hard for me to not see this as people actively wanting to create turmoil, toxicity, tribalism, because you cannot sit down and tell me that that crown is worth $100 and genuinely believe so, because you do not pay $100 and get the crown. Like, you just don't get the crown. You get a bunch of other goodies along the way until you get the crown. So you would have to, by default, subtract the price of everything else that you got along the way until you get the crown, and then you have your final price of the crown. The crown was not worth $200. That was just like a little cherry on top by spending a bunch of money, straight up. That's kind of like saying that if we go back to this event right here, right? We would do the math and then be like, oh, that Hiyuki cube that you could get right there, that Hiyuki accessory, yeah, that's worth like $300. And you're like, how the hell did you get $300? Well, I bought everything else in the shop, and then the final thing I got was her. No, bro, that's not how it goes, bro. Let's keep it a stack. This accessory is not a no goddamn $100, $200 accessory. It's just not.
Rover crown that's on the rover's head. I want you to guess within 1 second how much you think this rover crown cost. I mean, this is just a small little crown on the top of someone's head. You can get this during the anniversary. This crown cost a whopping $100. It's a reward you can get.
250. Sorry, I was thinking about Tower of Fantasy. Why are you thinking about Tower of Fantasy and Woo? Come on now, there's levels to this. But yeah, it's not worth $250, guys. That's you know why it's not worth $250? Because then you can just give the price of an item during this spending event and just say that everything you've spent up to that point cost you that much. So maybe he'll show it. Hold on.
In the
maybe I'll tell you what
spending event. Now, in the grand scheme of how that spending event played out, it's not even really.
Okay, there you go. There you go. So you would spend money and you would get these random little things, right? Boom, boom, boom. You have a whole character right here. One of these three. You have a whole weapon right here. These are standard banner weapons, which was fucking a scam. And then you have these three characters. These weapons should have been one of their weapons, right? Then you have this little dog shit goddamn transducer. And then you have the final bullshit. Look, I'm gonna be honest. That's like me saying this one transducer cost me $150. That's like me saying that one transducer cost $150 because it's the one in the spending event, and just not talking about how I got all of these things plus the actual shit that I got from spending money. It's not like you have to spend money and like you pay $10, you unlock this. No, you pay $10 getting summoned somewhere else, like different types of summons, and boom, it adds to this. So this is not no $250 crown, bro. It just isn't, bro. And anybody that saw this event that was a veteran player and looked at it, they were like, yeah, we're not spending. Anybody that was brand new at the time of the anniversary that was already planning to spend on it, this was just like a cherry on top. And anybody that was not planning to spend was not baited by this because this looked like shit. Straight up. This looked like straight up dog shit. So let's not even like, bro, let's not even say this is $250. By that means this little thing over here is $250, right? Like, this sticker here is $75. Like, come on now, bro. Tribalism, you're painting it, you're doing it, bro. It ain't really like that. We can talk about how this right here was dog shit as hell. They try to bait players with some dog shit event, but at the same time we can also say that it's just an extra rebate, and for those people that were trying to spend some money that were just getting some extra shit like some summons, people that spend money look at this and are happy with it because they're already spending money. People that don't spend money on these games look at this and say, it's some bullshit that thing is up there at $250. I want that for free. But even if it was like $5, they wouldn't put money in the game because they already don't put money in the game. So
that bad, generally speaking, right? The spending event had bad rewards, and because the rewards were bad, people weren't pressured to spending. So the vibe was, generally speaking, this was actually just a gift to the community. If you want,
bro, the reality of it is you say a man actively coping. I'm going to just tell you this. This was done during Ameth's banner. Find me one person that was playing the game at the time that looked at this, that was not planning to summon, and looked at this and said, oh my God, I have to do it. I genuinely think not one single player, not even new players, because if you're a new player, this shouldn't push you to spend. Because there ain't shit here that has value. Oh, you're going to get Shorekeeper. Guess what? New players already get Shorekeeper from the beginning banner if you select her, right? So, like, nothing here was worth it. Bro, I looked at this and I was like, hey, if I spent like $50, $60 that patch, I didn't do it for this shit. I did it just, like, because. Just because. That's it. I just did it to spend on something else, and whatever crap I got from here, I don't care, bro.
To spend money on Imeth, which a lot of people were going to do anyway, then these would effectively be free rewards. So in the grand context, it's fine. But in the limited journey that we're going to be going on more and more greedy practices that I'm going to be showing throughout this video, this $100 crown is disgusting. It's like,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We're 9 minutes into this video. He's talking about predatory practices, right? All these gacha games have predatory practices. So, hey, cool. You're talking about predatory practices. Listen, boy, I'm going to tell you straight up right now. If your ass does not bring up transducers, your entire argument is invalid. If you do not roast Kuro about transducers in here, I will effectively brand this video as tribalism bullshit, shit takes, and a cheap way to try to get a reaction out of people. Because there is no way we're going to talk about woo-wah, predatory, and bullshit greedy moves, and we're not going to talk about the one item that I could wipe my ass with and slap a developer across the face with. You're not. So if you don't bring up transducers, I'm telling you right now, bro, we're gonna have some problems.
Completely out of place in this game. Now, a question has to be in your mind by this point. Why is Wuthering Waves adding so many skins? It's bizarre. You do not see this level of skin pushing in other AAA gacha games. Sure, people actually complain in other gacha games that they don't add enough skins. People will often say in Genshin, oh man, if only they added more skins, then I would add. Why is Kuro not as, why is Hoyo not adding more skins? I would be spending more money in Hoyo if they did. But adding skins is an admission of inferiority in the gacha space, because you're basically admitting that you can't make as much money on characters, which is why you're selling more skins. More on that.
Yep, see, this is what I mean, bro. Absolutely, this is a bait video, bro. This is bait. Bro, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I often talked to one of the homies in the Discord. Shout out to the homie John. You cannot use your own retardation as bait. You cannot be the bait. If you want to bait people, don't do it by making yourself look like a dumbass, bro. Straight up. And I'm not, bro, analytical. If you ever watch this video, you probably won't. I'm not attacking you. I got no beef with you, dog. I'm just saying, regarding taste, it don't matter. You could get Mother Teresa over you. You could get Donald Trump, and I'll review their video. If they say some dumb shit, I'm going to say some dumb shit, bro. I'm going to call them out, right? And the truth is, what you just said is crazy, right? Because just listen.
An admission of, then I would don't add AAA gacha games. Sure, you do not see Waves adding so many skins. It's bizarre. You do not see this level of skin pushing in other AAA gacha games.
The amount of skins Wuthering Waves is adding is insane. You don't see this in other gacha games, bro. This is what pisses me off, and this is why I kind of burnt out on drama. All you YouTube gacha motherfuckers are stupid as fuck, and I'd smack the shit out of y'all if it was real life, because y'all do not know how to do bait, how to do videos that actually don't give the opportunity for motherfuckers to shit talk you. You do these loosey-goosey videos that are so stupid that I genuinely sit here asking myself, how can this retard upload a video that has so many fallacies, so many loopholes to get attacked on and disproved, and genuinely think he's right? Now, once again, sorry I went off. Sorry if I went a little bit too hard. But let me just show you something. He says,
sure, you do not see this level of skin pushing in other AAA gacha games.
You do not see this level of skin pushing in other AAA gacha games. So we go back here, right? How many character skins does Wuthering Waves has? 9. How many does Genshin Impact have? 22. How many does Zenless Zone Zero have? 57. And these are just character outfits. Oh, you want to add the bike skins? Bitch, add like 5. We have like 5 paid bike skins. Oh, you want to add the gliders? We have like 2 or 1. I don't know. Oh, you want to add the little extra cosmetics? Oh, add like, I don't know, like paid? 2. We have like 2, I think, paid. Shit, add 3. You add all of that up. It's still less than like Genshin or Zenless or goddamn Honkai Star Rail, the arguably other AAA titles. So what the fuck are you talking about when you say that other AAA gacha games are not even close to doing this, or they're doing it less? Like, bro,
Why is Wuthering Waves adding so many skins? It's bizarre. You do not see this level of skin pushing in other AAA gacha games.
so this is the part that pisses me off, and that I consider all of these like drama videos just easy farm. Any content creator that makes drama videos reacting to shit like this, and I'm part of them, we make trash content, bro. It's not hard to get views by doing videos like this, bro. It's really not, bro. Motherfuckers get triggered about dumb takes like this, whereas when I hear a dumb take like this, I'm like, this motherfucker is stupid, bro. Like, all you had to do was Google the amount of character cosmetics. You can even go deeper and look the amount of total cosmetics in the game, and WUA would still have less. If you look at paid cosmetics, that is, have less than other games, or at least all of them would be in the same ballpark playing the same game with their cosmetics. But somehow you try to paint it as in WUA's doing this, then nothing even comes close. Nobody else is doing what WUA is doing. No other AAA title. And when it's so easy to disprove you, it comes off as easy tribalism and bullshit takes.
Sure, people actually complain in other gacha games that they don't add enough skins.
We complain about WUA not adding... What? Bro, you cannot load into WUA, look at like 9 character skins, a glider, and like 4 bikes, and be like, damn, they got so many. Holy shit, bro. My options, they're limitless. They're infinite. You don't do that. You look at, it's like 50, 40 characters, and we got like 5 skins of shit. You know, like, it ain't that big of a deal, bro. Any WUA player will tell you, I want skins. Every character, give me a skin for every character. Give me a glider every 2 patches. Bro, what are we talking about? WUA is by no means a game that be dropping like 12 skins. Like, let's not even kid ourselves. They don't even drop a skin every other patch. Matter of fact, they don't even drop a skin, like a character skin, every 3 patches. These motherfuckers take their sweet time. Matter of fact, we just got the Lene and Chisa skins announced. What was the last skin before that? The Zani skin. How long ago did that come out? Like 3 patches ago? 4? I don't even remember. That was a while back. So, like, come on now.
People often say in Genshin, oh man, if only they added more skins, then I would add... Why is Kuro not as... why is Hoyo not adding more skins? I would be spending more money in Hoyo if they did. But adding skins is an admission of inferiority in the gacha.
Adding skins is an admission of inferiority in the gacha space.
Because you're basically admitting that you can't make as much money on characters, which is why you're selling more skins.
You know how shit that take is? You know how bad? Making skins is a sign of inferiority because you can't make enough money with the character skins, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. This might be a news flash to you. The real reason that these companies don't make skins, right? Don't make skins as often when we talk about character or companies like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves is because it takes more time to do, even if it's easy, it takes more time to do, to code, to develop, to put into the game that the money they're getting back from them. The time investment that they put into skins is not returned via player purchases. It's just not, bro. That's why they don't do it. Smaller games get away with it, not only because they're smaller games, but also because they get away with doing certain things that games like Genshin and WUA can't do, right? Smaller games have no problem showing some literal butt crack, right? Some insane cleavage, some thighs and stuff like that to a big degree, some Gooner outfits and some other things that games like WUA and Genshin can do, because if they even show a little bit, bro, they be showing an ankle on a trailer and they be getting called Gooner games. They be getting called sexual games, bro. People be seeing a character's fucking shoulder and they'll be like, damn, that's a Gooner game, bro. That game, bro, I saw a post. I legit saw a post that I made fun of on Twitter a couple months back, where they were saying that Wuthering Waves is, and I quote, basically a porn game for kids because of Yuno. And it was a picture of Yuno's foot. And that labeled it a porn game. You get where I'm going, right? You get where I'm going, bro? Like, that's why smaller games get away from with doing skins. But games like Genshin and WoW hasn't put that much emphasis on their skins because they just don't make the return from doing all it is. Maybe bikes actually give them more return because they are easier to make. They're quicker to make. They're easier to implement. And since some of them are a little cheaper, some people will buy them. But when it comes to character skins, bro, making skins doesn't necessarily mean that you're inferior. And on top of that, if we're talking about a company being greedy and then players wanting skins in the game, if the company listens to the players by adding skins in the game, how are they greedy if at that point they're just satisfying the needs, the demands of their community, but also they got to make money, so they're going to put a price tag on it. So that's a crazy take right there, that WUA is admitting they're inferior because they add cosmetics. And if that take alone wasn't crazy, when you pair that up with it's doing it while other games are not, and then you pull up the games you said or showed, and they're doing it even more or at the same level, what are we doing now, buddy? Like, what are we really doing?
More on that later. But before I go into that, we need to talk about the Cyberpunk collab, which is the ultimate culmination of greed that Kuro Games has been exhibiting. Let's talk about that. The Cyberpunk collab.
Yo, So I think Kuro did a great job with the story, right? I think they did a great job, the character designs and everything. But the more I play the Cyberpunk collab, the more I build my characters. I have S6 Lucy, S3 Rebecca. Like, I put money, time, and effort into these characters. The more I play them, the more I interact with them, the more I realize that the Cyberpunk collab was primarily, at least for Kuro, primarily a publicity stunt, right? And I'll get into that in a second, but I do think that it was more than just building the game or providing like very solid like foundation to what was inside of the game, like the entirety of the content of the Cyberpunk collab. And it was more so a way for them to reach out into the mainstream and get people that have maybe never heard of Wuthering Waves but were big fans of Cyberpunk. And the reason I say this is because the Cyberpunk collab has some things that are very, very good, like top tier, best in the genre, best out of any game. But then it also has some things that are downright fucking atrocious, disgusting, shitty, predatory, stupid, and more. So it's like both ends of the spectrum. And at the end of the day, as a casual, if you're a casual player playing the game, you're just getting into the game for the Cyberpunk collab, you get the Cyberpunk collab units, you're happy, you're enjoying the game, you played the story, it was dope. But the more you get into it, when you pay attention to the way the banner works, when you pay attention to how strong or weak these units are, when they're so limited, so specific to get, no pity transferring, less corals in return, when you pay attention to all of that and then you pay attention to where they're ranked based on their current performance, there is a lot of things to be said amongst, you know, just the banner in and of itself being quite shitty. But overall, personally, I thought the Cyberpunk collab story, character designs, gameplay, all were top tier. Absolutely the best, but not really satisfied with not only the banner. Guys, it was the worst banner in my history. Bro, I have like 14, maybe less. Let's leave it at 10. I have 10 S6R5 characters. Definitely more. I have like 15, but 10 S6R5 characters. So I've summoned for S6R5 a lot. I ain't never, ever put as many summons into a banner. Ever. And not even gotten S6R5. Let me put it to like this, guys. My average banner for an S6R5 is about 65 to, on a bad day, 80,000 astrites for an S6R5, counting the 2 dupes from the shop, right? I put 110,000 astrites into the Cyberpunk banner. 110,000 astrites. I got S6R1 Lucy and S3R1 Rebecca, and they gave you 4 dupes. You got the free Rebecca, right? Wait, you got the free Rebecca, the 2 dupes from the rebate, and the 2 dupes from the store. So 5 dupes. 5 dupes from just summoning. And even with those 5 dupes, I was not able to get S6R5 on either one of those characters. I couldn't even get S6 Rebecca and S6 Lucy. So that alone was a shitty banner. Plenty of reasons for me to hate on it. But yeah, pretty predatory things they did with this banner. Didn't really like the way they do it. Less corals, yada yada yada. The 420 pity on the rebate. Bunch of bullshit. Long story short, it was all right. Some really shitty things, some good things, but that was just my general take about the Cyberpunk banner. And there's more into it. We can talk about it when I go live, but yeah, that's my take.
Features Lucy and Rebecca. Yeah. 2 interesting characters from the Cyberpunk series, and they're pretty epic, pretty sick. Lucy looks insanely good. She looks epic, and Rebecca was given for free. Now, everyone will tell you that the Cyberpunk collab was a fantastic event. Everyone loved it. Everyone thought it was awesome. And because it was so epic, everything that I'm about to complain about will kind of fall on deaf ears.
No, that's not true. Anybody, look, this is what I mean when I make these videos, and I highly doubt this dude Analytical is going to watch this, but this is what I mean when I make these videos. There are plenty of ways for you to criticize a specific topic without having to bring other shits in. And also, my best advice for any CC out there that's doing React content, that's trying to get into the whole drama thing and all of that, make it so when you put a video, and this is my advice based on life, because I had to deal with this. I had to deal with this when it came to a lot of things in my life. This is my best advice to you. Every time you make a video that you know is going to be inflammatory, that is going to create some sort of controversy, that is going to make some people angry, right? Picture yourself in front of a judge. You're in front of a judge, right? Make sure that everything you put into your videos, every single detail, down to the last minute detail, is fact checked. Make sure you leave no room, especially easy room, for people to look at your video and disprove what you say. Make it so it's actually hard and a challenge for them to do that, right? When it comes to this right here, you just said, oh, it was so good, everybody was happy, so when I point out some bad in it, you guys are going to not listen, it's going to be on deaf ears. That's not true. If you're talking logical, realistic things to people that are down to earth, that will listen, that will understand, and will be able to have a good, constructive, criticism, debate regarding the event, people will tell you how it is. So your criticism might be valid, might not be, it might be some bullshit, but it might be valid, right? And a lot of people didn't care for the Cyberpunk event. Some people flat out skipped these characters, bro. They didn't care about Cyberpunk, blah, blah, blah. It was just a filler patch for a lot of people. So not everybody agrees, but me, as someone that did enjoy the patch, that did enjoy the story, that is a fan of Cyberpunk, that has played the Cyberpunk game, that has made guides on the Cyberpunk game, can tell you I enjoyed certain aspects of the Cyberpunk collab, and I thought some other aspects were downright dog shit. It's just is what it is, bro. It's the same with every other gacha game, with every other game, with everything in life. Some things are good, some things are bad. It's just, it is what it is. Nothing's perfect. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
Because it was so good, so brilliant, that many people actually consider it a proper ending and epilogue to the Cyberpunk anime.
Yeah.
It's so good, it's considered canon.
And to be fair, it feels canon. It doesn't feel canon, but it could be, especially because of the Lucy and David interaction. That's what made it feel like, oh, this is a conclusion to our story, which was great.
Yet Kuro has used this good faith effort of delivering you a fantastic 10 out of 10 product to derive as much money out of you as possible. And in one way, you might say to yourself, okay, I mean, isn't that worth it? I mean, Kuro definitely put in way more effort into this collab than Genshin did with Aloy, which was...
Bro, I swear, bro, this is the part that gets me so tired of this gacha space, bro. Like, bro, do y'all realize how, like, infatuated, and I'm not talking about just analytical vibes in this particular comment, I'm talking about just creators in general. It gets so tiresome to look at the general space of the gacha community and be like, oh, that guy is a Genshin creator, and you go and look at their fucking channel and they're hating on Arknight's Enfield, or they're hating on WUWA. Or you look at this WUWA content creator and they're hating on Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Or you look at this, like, Honkai Star Rail CC and they're hating on ZZZ and NTE. Like, it's like, bro, why can't y'all just stay on your game? Why does it always gotta be like, well, this game does this, but that one, like, bro, it's like, y'all motherfuckers are always minding other people's bit. Like, bro, I don't care if I play Wuwa, right? If I play Wuwa and then Genshin drops a character that sucks your balls, I'm not gonna be like, well, fuck, man. Genshin is better because bro, like, I wish I had that shit, but I don't care. Like, I'm playing Wuwa. If I want to play for that other character, I'd go play that other game. I play the one that I like, right? But all of y'all cannot stop the constant, bro. Wuwa's better, Genshin's better, ZZZ is better, Wuwa's trash, Genshin's trash. And all of you, every single one of you content creators strikes me as some baby back, drama farming, desperate housewives, bitch made little dudes, bro. Straight up, bro. It's always the same, bro. Like, I could take a break for a month and I'm gonna come back and I'll check like 5 CC's channels and it's always like, oh, Wuwa sucks because it did this. And then I'm like, oh, what did Wuwa do? And I'm watching the video midway through. They're saying Genshin is better because I'm like, oh my fucking God, bro. Like, stay on topic, bro. Just focus on the game that you're talking about. It's like the only space that does that. Even other games that compete, like, bro, I'll watch like a Fortnite creator and they're making videos of Fortnite. You don't ever see them you don't ever hear them saying, oh, Fortnite is so much better than Apex. Apex sucks because of this. And then they're constantly going through it. The same goes for like Call of Duty. It's not a daily, day in, day out thing where our Call of Duty content creator is shitting on Battlefield. Like, in the gacha spaces, almost every video has to have a jab at one of the other games. It's like, bro, why are y'all so weird, bro?
Absolute joke. So they deserve the money? Maybe. Okay. I mean, it could. Let's talk about what they did, and you can decide that for yourself. So as we know with this collab, they had this spending banner system where the more pulls you do, you get refunded on the pulls, and then you can eventually pull a certain amount of times and get these selectors, and you can select the character sequences. And basically, up to 160, it's kind of actually worth it. It's like one of the greatest things.
No, not kind of. Up to 160 pulls. Up to 160 pulls. This is one of the best values in terms of summons because of the fact that you get all these back, right? That's 15 pulls back plus a guaranteed dupe at 160 pulls. That's pretty damn good.
Kuros has ever done. And then the pulls kind of get more and further apart. Then you get 420, which is...
This right here was some dog shit. This should have been right here at 360. It should have just been at 360, bro. Straight up. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, 420 is stupid high. Like, bro, I remember I had summoned so much. Y'all could probably go back and look at my stream. I had done like 300, like 400 summons, bro, or something. And I'm looking at the sheer amount of summons that I've done. And I'm like, bro, I'm still not at 420 summons, bro. Like, I think I have S6 Lucy, bro, and I already got her weapon. Like, what's happening, bro? Like, it was a lot of fucking summons to get that extra dupe.
Kind of ridiculous, but Kuro Games is a very forgiving system. Thus, if you pull enough times, surely you will be able to get these sequences and get these characters. Unfortunately, on this banner specifically, Kuro actually changed the rules on how the banner functions. We'll notice here that in Kuro Games, there's a special shop called the Coral Shop. The Coral Shop is basically this unique currency that you get when you pull on a banner, and you get the currency back when you get dupes of characters.
Yeah.
It's a way to effectively get refunds for other things that you want in the game.
And they gave us less coral
for getting a dupe, and because you got that dupe of the weapon or the character, you're able to get more pulls, more weapon pulls, any of these cards. This Phantom for Echoes, it basically resources. It's very useful. Now, when you got refunds in the Cyberpunk collab, they changed the rules on how much you get refunded in this collab. Let's just read it, okay? Because there's no commentary I can do that's better than just reading it. On obtaining a 5-star resonator for the first time, you will receive 12 corals. On obtaining a 5-star resonator that you already own, you will receive 1 wave band and 12 corals. From the 8th time onward, you will receive 30. Okay, sure. On obtaining a 4-star resonator, you will receive 2 corals. On obtaining a 4-star resonator that you already own, you will receive 1 wave band and 2 corals. From the 8th time onward, you will receive 5. Yeah. 4-star weapon, you receive 2. 5-star, that is not the featured one, you will receive an additional 25. For the weapon banner, we have 2, 2, 5. On obtaining a 5-star weapon for the first time, you receive 12. 4-star weapon, you receive 2. Now, this is all very interesting. We're going to be cross-referencing, so you don't have to have these numbers in your head already. But we have for us available the Coral Shop that's regular. Now, the regular Coral Shop is phenomenal. It's great. You're able to get sequences for 5-star characters, which is what people wanted to do here. They wanted to be able to get sequences for 5-star characters by getting the refunds. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that in order to spend 360 to get the sequence for Lucy or Rebecca, you have to obtain 480. That is bizarre.
This, another one of the... See, so I feel that content creators, I don't know, man. I might be too based and too, like, straightforward and realistic when it comes to what I gotta say. That's why I don't stick to all you fucking retards that play gacha games and are tribalistic, right? But the reality of it is, bro, how is this man dropping this video that has some dumb shit in it every now and then, like some straight up retarded shit, and then he gets to the point where he's gonna talk about the Cyberpunk collab, which arguably does have some valid points. This right here is a very valid point, and then say, oh, it's gonna fall on deaf ears. Bro, look, just because this video got a horrible reception, just because some people will look at certain aspects of this video and shit on the dumb things you said, like for example the whole Wuwa getting more, has too many skins more than all these other games, just because you done dumb things like that don't mean that when you bring up valid points like this, they're gonna be, you know, thrown out the window. And also because people shit on your other takes, right, doesn't mean that you can say, oh, look, I brought up the Cyberpunk collab and the Wuwa community attacked me. No, bro, they're attacking you because some of the other points you're doing are misleading, they're misinformation, they're tribalistic, and they're clearly made with the intention of generating anger within the community. But this, 480 corals. I had to get 480 corals before I can get my... guys, I summoned a lot. I summoned so much that when I finally looked at the coral shop and saw that I didn't have 480 corals, I was shook. I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And I also want to throw out there, I have S6 of every single standard banner character. So every time I lost pity, I got a hefty amount of coral. And even then, I didn't have enough to get this because of this stupid 480 elusive coral fucking, like... I don't even know why they did this other than them being assholes, predatory, money-hungry dicks. That's just the truth.
So in order to spend 360, you actually have to get over the amount that you need first, which is ridiculous. You obviously don't need to do that for the regular one. Why would you need to get more in order to spend? Well, obviously because of greed, and that's not all.
It's a thing, like, there are moments where you can say, yes, they're being greedy with what they do, but it's not as noticeable, right? Like, for example, when they add the cosmetics, right, for $4, you could be like, oh, they're being greedy. Oh, but then they're gonna make them available for free-to-play currency a month later. Okay, that's fine. But when they add that whole thing of you gotta have more corals than the actual required amount, and they've never done that, it's no longer one of those things where, like, oh, they're greedy, but, like, there's a reason behind it. There is no excuse. There is no justification. And if you justify that, you're just a Kuro Diglacer. It's just the way it is, bro. Because that alone was the most dog shit thing out of that, along with the whole coral system, right? It was just trash.
When in the base coral, you get more corals on the refunds. It's so greedy. On obtaining a 5-star for the first time, you will get 15 Afterglow corals. On obtaining a 5-star that you already own, you will get 1 wave band and 15. From the 8th time onward, you will get 40. So we're kind of going to speed run through this, but I'm just going to cross-reference the numbers in real time right now. We have 15, 15, 40. Here, we have 12, 12, 30. Huh, that's strange. Okay, we have 3, 3, 8. Okay, sure. We have 2, 2, 5. Okay, that's interesting. 4-star weapon, you get 3. Okay, what's important? Whenever you obtain a 5-star that is not the feature, you will get an additional 30. That's awesome. When you obtain a 5-star that's not, you get an additional 25. Huh, that's interesting. And
I'm gonna be honest with this particular thing right here. This is why I don't respect content creators that are claimed to be Kuro bots. You guys know who I'm talking about. Because they'll see this and then they'll drop one video saying how this is bad, right? They gotta show face that they're for the players, right? So they'll make a video saying that this is bad. They'll make one video. But then when another game does the most minimalistic thing, the most simplistic thing, these creators will go at them and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos on them, right? Just shitting on them, even for things that have already passed. I'm gonna give you an example. There's this one content creator, his name is Bobby, and this guy made a video about the crazy PayPal issue that Arknight's Enfield has, where they were like scamming people, crazy stuff. Horrible. The day that happened, absolutely make a video shitting on them, calling them out, blah blah. Fair. I kid you not, this guy Bobby made at least 3 or 4 videos over the course of a month or two regarding the same topic that had already been covered and dealt with by the developers. Bro, this guy Bobby made like 2 or 3 videos. Hear me out. 2 or 3 videos shitting on a game because they dropped surveys. Surveys! And they made 3 or 4 videos shitting on it. But then when a game does something like this, they'll drop 1 video shitting on it. When they'll do something like the transducers, they'll drop 1 video shitting on it instead of like constantly being on them and shitting on them for doing things like this. This is fucked up. I said it, bro. Like I said, bro, certain dumb takes won't diminish the reality of other takes that are true.
And that's all of them. And now, obviously, I do not have a, not obviously, but I forgot to get a screenshot of the weapon one, but you'll imagine that all of these are different as well. So, not only do you need to get more corals in order to unlock these extra sequences, but you actually get refunded less corals per dupe than in the regular amount of generosity in the game. That's disgusting. That's like the worst thing I've ever seen Kuro do, ever. What is this? Now, I want you to think about everything that we've kind of spoken about this far, right? We have the $25 bike skins. We have accessory skins that cost $4. We have multiple limited time $10 bike skins. We have more and more accessories and character skins costing more money. We have a wing glider set. All of these other methods, all of those skins that you only see in lower tier gachas, and then they have the audacity to come out and fundamentally change all of the rules in the Coral banner for the collab, where gacha games are expected to be more generous, more...
Oh, man, I've said this like 5 times throughout this video. This is bait, bro. It's either bait or maybe the way of expressing himself is not out there, right? It's really not out there. He was having a hard time getting his video out because why the fuck does he keep bringing higher tier games and lower? Bro, okay, how about this? Maybe I don't know ball. Maybe I don't know ball analytical. Maybe I don't know ball. What are these upper echelon games? These upper tier mainstream games that don't do any character skins or paid cosmetics in one way or another, or weapon skins or accessories? What are these upper echelon games, these absolute peak games in the gacha space that don't do that? I would like to hear that. Maybe I don't know, right? Maybe I don't know ball.
Giving with more generosity, and yet they just kind of just crap on the player base, requiring more resources for less pulls, and they change the rules. I mean, it's disgusting. You'll notice that in recent times, Kuro Games has been collabing with more and more companies. The reason being that Kuro Games is not satisfied with the amount of players that are playing the game. Basically, here's what happens in gacha games. When players aren't playing the game, or at least less people are playing, there's less people available to spend money. And when less people spend money, more egregious practices have to occur in order to make up the missing income from the existing player base. We'll have a collab here with Kaiju number 8, a collab here with Persona 5 and Sonic, and Persona 4 or 3, one of those. We have a collab here with Angry Birds. We have a collab here with Resident Evil 30. There's so many collabs in order to get more people to play the game. Wow. Now, how long has it been so far?
Hold on. I want to throw this out there, guys. I want to throw this out there. Listen to this one more time.
The reason being that Kuro Games is not satisfied with the amount of players that are playing the game. Basically, here's what happens in gacha games. When players aren't playing the game, or at least less people are playing, there's less people available to spend money. And when less people spend money, more egregious practices have to occur in order to make up the missing income from the existing player base.
This is why I don't like reacting to these long-ass videos. First off, I yap for too long. And second, I tend to actually have good points where we bounce back what is being said. First off, he says, these companies aren't happy with the amount of players playing the game. Let's talk to Kuro. Kuro is not happy with the amount of players playing the game. Is any company ever fully satisfied with the amount? Or any company out there, regardless of what the company is, if you ask them, would you like more customers? They'll say yes. Every company out there is always aiming to get more customers. That's just the way it is. And just because Kuro wants more customers doesn't mean that they're desperate or are sad or disappointed with their sales and their player base. They have a massive player base. They make hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars yearly. They're not worried. Second, every single one of these collabs that you're just bringing up to what I saw, they were free. Everything that you got here, these stings, my camera's kind of in the way right there. These stings that you see right there, those gifts, library reward, they were all free. So this part right here, I'm a little lost on it.
And gacha games. When players aren't playing the game, or at least less people are playing, there's less people available to spend money. And when less people spend money, more egregious practices have to occur in order to make up the missing income from the existing player base.
So we're talking about collabs and we're talking about egregious practices to make up. Like, make up what, bro? This man makes it sound like Wuthering Waves is in debt, bro. Like, these motherfuckers in the negative, bro. Did y'all know that, bro? They might make $50, $100 million a month across all their platforms, but that's not enough. They're in debt, bro. Who the hell are they? How down bad are they? Yes, these are absolutely publicity stunts and publicity campaigns to bring in a bigger audience. That's what you're supposed to do if you're running a company. That's just the way it is. But this doesn't mean that they're down bad in the negative, that they have to do this. They want to do this. They are doing it in a way to branch out, to get into the mainstream, to reach other audiences. That's good. That's a good way to do it, bro.
I have a collab here with Kaiju number 8, a collab here with Persona 5 and Sonic, and Persona 4 or 3, one of those. We have a collab here with Angry Birds. We have a collab here with Resident Evil 30. There's so many collabs in order to get more people to play the game. Wow. Now, how long has it been so far? Holy crap, it's been 18 minutes. That's disgusting. It is what it is. This video will take as long as it needs. Now, we talked about how they sold out. We talked about the ultimate level of greed ever before seen in a collab. Still a brilliant collab, but nothing I've said. Those are literally the numbers. Nothing I said changes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll take that. That's definitely true.
Now we need to talk about, how did this happen? How did we get here? What happened to Kuro Games that made them change their mind on being generous and using all of these low-tier practices to make more money?
Bro, the fact that he keeps saying low-tier practices like they're not practices that have been going on for the longest time in the dawn of time, like, that's so dumb. Like, bro, before Genshin came out, all these other gacha games, or not all of them, but a lot of them gave skins or gave characters in multiple forms. Like, you'll have Wind Knight Rose, and then like 5 patches later, you'll call Dark Saber Rose, right? It's either that or skins, but all of them, a lot of them had skins, cosmetics, things like that. Just because Genshin didn't do it at first, right? And maybe other of the more expensive, higher budget gacha games didn't do it at first, doesn't mean these are low tier practices. These are practices that have been and will always be in the gacha space. Bro, NTE just launched, making a good amount of money, and they have skins, they have cosmetics. These aren't things that are like shitty, right? When we look at a game that has no skins, no cosmetics, nothing like that, I don't think of a high tier budget game. I don't think, oh my god, I think of like, damn, this game is missing some shit. This game needs to up their game and make some good cosmetics, some good things to get for your profile. That's just the way it is. So it's insane when he says
nothing
this.
I've said. Those are literally the numbers. Nothing I said changes. Now we need to talk about, how did this happen? How did we get here? What happened to Kuro Games that made them change their mind on being generous and using all of these low-tier practices to make more money? Unfortunately, like all problems, it all starts with Genshin Impact, which is a game that...
Here we go again, bro. It all starts with Genshin Impact. Okay.
Kuro bots can't keep out of their mouth,
they
me included. Now, make no mistake. Oh, wrong image. Genshin Impact. Make no mistake, Genshin Impact is a phenomenal game. This won't even be me crapping on it, like many people want me to do. I think the game's great, and I pretty much exclusively use Genshin Impact music in all of my videos because it's just superior, in my opinion, to most music in gacha games. Let's talk about the history of what happened in the battle between Wuthering Waves, Kuro, and Genshin Impact that has led to Kuro Games doing all of these practices.
Bro, you know what's crazy? So, recently, I've been watching a lot of basketball. You know, the Knicks won the championship. I've been a Knicks fan my whole life. And them winning the championship in the way that they won it was amazing. Very competitive. I've been going back and forth watching videos, yapping it up about, you know, basketball teams and all of that. And I understand the difference when you're like talking about the team that you've been like watching live on TV, you know, supporting, maybe even going to their games for years, like 5, 10, 50. Bro, I've been a Knicks fan my whole life. I'm an old man, bro. So I've been a Knicks fan for a long time. So when they won, I'm like hyped. Talking to a homeboy that's a Spurs fan, which was the team they fought, right? And I'm like, we're going back and forth. What if this happened? Oh, but they only won because it did, right? Like, we're going back and forth. I understand that type of competitiveness because it's a sport. You're directly competing with other people. But when it comes to gacha games, especially in the realm of Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, we have two games that both cover these anime-looking characters. Both games coming from companies that are making hundreds of millions of dollars a month. And for some reason, people still want to fight and make this like a war, like they're fighting. Like Kuro Devs is at the office thinking about every single step that Hoyo is doing, and the same with Hoyo at their office thinking about every step that Kuro is doing. Don't get me wrong, things that these games do impact each other to some degree. Like, it does force some hands when they do certain things, but at the same time, it ain't no goddamn war. They're just going. They're there. It's kind of like, you know, when we had the whole PlayStation Xbox saga, which, you know, console wars, when you had Call of Duty versus Battlefield, Fortnite versus Warzone. Like, they're just there, right? They're just there. They're not necessarily like, well, Fortnite did this, so I have to do this. You know what I mean?
Here's what happened. When Kuro Games launched, at least here's my theory of what happened. When Kuro Games launched, they positioned themselves marketing as the Genshin Impact killer. They were the people who were supposed to be competing.
That's another thing that I find funny. Why is it that every time a new game comes out, it's like you don't see that as much on other genres. Like, you'll be playing a racing game and another racing game is going to come out and they don't be like, oh, this is the Need for Speed killer. This is the Midnight Club killer. No, bro, they're just like, that's another racing game. A shooter is going to come out, an extraction shooter, and they're like, oh, this is this extraction shooter. They're not instantly saying that. That does happen in some scenarios. Like, I remember Anthem was the Destiny killer. That game died. Then we had a Warframe. Oh, that's the Destiny killer. Blah blah blah. Like, it does happen every now and then. But in here, it's like, bro, Wuwa comes out, it's the Genshin killers. Like, why? Like, why? There's gonna be multiple people, like always, that like one thing and others that like the other.
With the big boys. Turns out, Kuro had massive optimization issues. Because of these issues, the game was effectively manhandled by Genshin and other gacha games at the time, and a lot of players just left, right? It had a huge exodus of players, and it wasn't able to maintain them. Of course, gacha games never really recover, but Wuthering Waves somehow rebounded in version 2.0, where basically it was able to get a large sum of players back, despite all of the issues. But it never fully recovered from that huge era. Now, in order to make a
Bro, you know what's crazy? Every time I watch these videos, for those of you that know me, I streamed Wuthering Waves on launch for about 10 to 12 hours a day for like a straight month or two. Like, I was in it every single day, 10 plus hour streams. I'll say 8+ hours, because I'm sure there are days that I cut it short. So let's say 8+ hour streams every single day, all recorded, all live. I never had the insane performance issues that people claim they have, because they claim they had some insane levels of like performance issues where they basically couldn't play the game. This man basically just said that it was so bad that it almost killed the game, right? That shit was never the case for me. I'm not talking about like even like hiccups here and there. I'm talking about just overall, it was never ever that bad, ever. And it was all on stream, so it's not like I'm capping. It was all there. People saw me live. So I don't know what they talking about when they make it sound like it was just unplayable.
Monumental comeback like Wuthering Waves did. It needed a lot of effort in its character animations. You notice that there are certain animations in Wuthering Waves that are just superior to every other gacha game in the space, right? Yeah. It's superior in Imus animations, in Hiyuki's animations, in Cardathea's animations, in Carlotta's animations. I mean, if you compare the animations pound for pound for any Genshin Impact character or any sequence in the game at all to Wuthering Waves animations, it's obvious that Wuthering Waves wins. And Kuro was beginning.
But see, here's the problem. Why does he have to add Genshin in there? He says, I'm not gonna throw shade at Genshin, but then he has to add Genshin in there, which is gonna trigger Genshin fans. Bro, either this is a very oblivious presentation of one's ideals or a very genius presentation of one's ideals. That's just the way it is. Either he's very stupid and didn't know what he was doing when he presented this video with some of the like misinformation and some of the takes, or he was very smart and did it in a way that would instigate and generate the reaction that he's getting right now. Either way, it's one of those two. There's no in between.
To get increasingly upset that despite the fact that they're putting in more effort per character than Genshin, they're only making a fraction of the revenue. It's almost a sense of disrespect. Why is it that we're putting in so much effort only to get mogged by Varka, a character who literally has the same animations as Razor, a 4-star character in Genshin Impact? We're getting...
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I feel that people that talk about certain things like this they shouldn't, because I feel that, one, they've never worked with companies. They don't understand brand positioning, and they don't understand the feelings and the mentality and the strategy that a company takes to tackle certain things, right? For example, what he just said, right?
Kuro was beginning to get increasingly upset that despite the fact that they're putting in more effort per character than Genshin, they're only making a fraction of the revenue. It's almost a sense of disrespect. Why?
Kuro is beginning to get upset that despite putting all this effort, they're only making a fraction of the revenue that Genshin does, right? I want to give y'all guys an example. Do y'all think that when a new company comes out to compete with an already established company slash IP, and they're putting in insane amounts of work to compete with established company, right? Do you think that the company that's competing with them is upset or questioning why they're making less money than the company that has a dedicated and well-established consumer base? No, right? Kuro Games is arguably competing with the biggest, most popular, most known gacha game of all time, right? Genshin Impact was the biggest, the most mainstream gacha game ever, generating the biggest numbers, generating the biggest community. It came out at the perfect time, building a community that's solid. It came out during COVID. A lot of people like spend all of COVID playing Genshin Impact, which gave them such a massive and such a strong community. Some people went through some horrible things during COVID, so having Genshin in the background, a light, colorful game, would brighten up their day. Genshin was amazing. It was a lifesaver for a lot of people. So they have this massive company, right, that now not only has Genshin Impact, but Honkai Star Rail, right, ZZZ, that other game, I forgot what their first game, has all of these games, all of this community, and then you have Kuro with PGR, and now Wuthering Waves. And Wuthering Waves is competing, whether it's number 1 or number 2 or number 3 in terms of relevancy to Genshin Impact. It's competing with that company, and it's up there neck to neck. Whether Genshin still generates more, it's because of how popular, how big it is. But the fact that Kuro, a game that came out after the COVID hype, after all of that shit, and it came out, and nowadays it's still up there. Kuro, Hoyo, Kuro, like it's back to back. Sometimes Kuro will generate more, sometimes Hoyo will generate more, sometimes Kuro will have better things going on, sometimes Hoyo will have better things going on. Being in that position in only 2 years is by no means something that a company like Kuro is looking as a failure. They're not looking at it as like, damn, why can't we beat Genshin? They're looking at it more so like, yeah, we're up there, right? We had no previous fan base. We don't have 5 games out there, bro. We weren't out during the COVID bubble. We didn't generate this massive life-changing experiences for some people. Yet, we're still up here playing ball on your same court. That's what these companies look like. Maybe a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now, Wuthering Waves or any of these other gacha games could position themselves as the new king of gacha, right? The most popular, most mainstream. But they're not looking at it right now like, oh my God, bro, why is Genshin generating 10 million more than me when I'm only generating 40 million? Like, that's not the way these companies work, bro. Like, they understand challenge, but they also understand realism, right? So like, for example, that's like if a new soda comes out, a new cola comes out, and it's doing good numbers, right? But Coca-Cola is doing better, but the other soda gets brought up in the same sentence as Coca-Cola. Yo, there's Coca-Cola and there is this other cola, and they're like 2 of the best in the market. I don't think the new company that just came out would be feeling bad that they're in the same sentence conversation as Coca-Cola. Exactly the same situation that we have going on with Kuro and Hoyo.
Is it that we're putting in so much effort only to get mogged by Varka, a character who literally has the same animations as Razor, a 4-star character in Genshin Impact? We're getting mogged by Genshin's worst characters of all time, and we're putting in immense effort. In fact, think about this. One of the only times Wuthering Waves has surpassed Genshin in revenue was in 3.1 with Imeth, an absolute landmark, monumental unit. They were able to get, the censor data is unreliable, they were able to get around 30 million plus in that month. Maybe they made more, but that's like the lower end. And Genshin in that month...
This man is using revenue values from gacha revenue mobile values. He's using revenue values only from mobile. I'm gonna just be real with you, bro. Like, I could play games like Genshin and a few others on my phone a lot easier than I can WoWa. WoWa gets a little bit more complex with them extremely fast-moving characters, right? They be zigzagging, floating all over the screen. They be doing a lot. So I'm assuming that the amount of people that play it on console and PC is pretty damn big. But hey, that's besides the point.
Only made around 29 million because it was Varka, and they paid a price. Despite his reused animations, I guess the community did not like it as much. Think about that. And it was one of Genshin's worst months of all time. Think about that. In order for Wuthering Waves to surpass Genshin financially, it has to have its best performing month of all time during Genshin's worst performing month of all time. They're literally getting...
And that is also cap. If he is indeed using the gacha revenue, there's been other months where WUWA has done pretty damn good. Now, I haven't gone out and checked every single month since the launch of WUWA, but there has been months where WUWA is a little bit higher than Genshin. But even then, like, listen to what he just said. There are months where WUWA will generate 30 million and Genshin will generate 35 million. This man is making it seem like that is a failure because they didn't beat Genshin. Like, bro, a company just made 30 million from mobile revenue in 1 month, and we're acting like because another company, like, bro, who lives like that's not how it works.
Logged financially, and Kuro Games is not happy about that. Now, in the perspective of a gamer, you might say to yourself, Vibe, what's the problem here? Kuro Games is literally making so much more money hand over fist than any single player game in existence, certainly more than Hollow Knight, Silksong, or Expedition 33. So why is it a problem that they're clearly making enough money? Now, in our minds, we're comparing Kuro Games to single player games, and that seems like a fair comparison, but that's not the comparison that Kuro Games is making, and why should...
Who the fuck is comparing... What? What the fuck? What?
Now, in our minds, we're comparing Kuro Games to single player games, and that seems like...
Who the fuck is our minds, and what you mean comparing Kuro Games to single player? Who the fuck does that? You're a retard if you do that, I'm gonna be honest. Who the fuck? Oh yeah, well, WUWA didn't make as much money as Silksong. It's like, what?
A fair comparison, but that's not the comparison that Kuro Games is making, and why should they? They routinely compare themselves to their competitors. Why should they compare themselves to single player games? At the very least, if that's not the comparison they're making, then it might as well not matter in their minds, especially when it...
How does he know what Kuro is doing? I don't know what Kuro is doing, but I've at least had experience working with companies. I've literally worked with companies creating campaigns for their products, launching of products, events, activities, right? Relaunching of an entire brand. And I've worked with them, and at no point have I been in a room with, you know, developers and people in charge of a company, and they've said to me that they, like, it's never been brought up where they say we got to do better than this other company. This other company made this much, we got to make this. It's never been, it's always focused on them. I'm pretty sure that's how Kuro operates. And I highly doubt that if they're making 30 million and Genshin is making 35 or 40, that they're just out there punching the wall because they didn't make an extra 10 million, bro. Like, come on now. We're not talking about like Genshin making 40 million and WUWA making 2. Like, bro.
Comes to financial decisions that they make. So they're comparing themselves to Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, and they're saying we're putting in all this effort, not making as much money as these games. We need to use other avenues to get money. And that's how we've been seeing how Kuro Games has basically admitted, unfortunately, that it's unable to generate as much money as these other games when it comes to character revenue themselves. The Kuro characters are just not as enticing in generating as much money because they're just not able to get as much players as Genshin Impact. And
the fact you say that while Hiyuki is on the screen, I'll slap the fuck out of you. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you, bro. Greatest character of all time. Don't do that. Don't disrespect Hiyuki like that, bro. Like, that statement is crazy.
As enticing as these other games when it comes to character revenue themselves. The Kuro characters are just not as enticing in generating as much money because they're just not able to get as much players as Genshin Impact. And
brother.
All of these methods are just an admission of that. Straight up. And they've resorted to using lower level tactics of endless skins in order to make up that difference. It's kind of sad. Now, in a way, there's a reason why all of this is happening. And it has to do with the fact that normally gacha games start off greedy and get more generous over time. We've noticed this in Genshin, where in the beginning, they had no pity on their weapon banner, leading to Tectone spending $2,000 on Staff of Homeless and never getting the weapon. I mean, absolutely disgusting. I mean, the game's ridiculous. And then they changed it to now you can lose pity twice and you get it on the third. And then they changed it to now you can lose pity once and you get it on the second time. So they successfully used a generous model over time in order to maximize the amount of pain and suffering and money they can make off of their players in the beginning. That's what Genshin did, and now it's gotten better over time. That's like the path they take. Kuro Games started out with insane levels of generosity. In particular, the sequence shop in Kuro Games is nuts. Basically, you're able to get in the Wuthering Waves sequence shop sequences for a character directly. Now, if you plan accordingly, you can get sequences for certain characters and effectively make that character permanently effective on your account forever. If you think about it, 360 to get a sequence for a character is 45 pulls worth of currency. In context, that's nuts. You're basically guaranteeing that you win 50-50 for a character by giving up 45 pulls. Imagine you were pulling on a banner and you had 50-50 and you pulled 45 pulls and you got the character early and won 50-50. That's what it means to purchase a sequence for the shop. If you have 720, which is double, that's 90 pulls. Imagine in 90 pulls, you get a character twice, early, both times, in 45 pulls, and you win 50-50 back to back. That's what it means to purchase sequences from the shop. That is so generous that if you buy sequences for Imeth, for Hiyuki,
oh my god, Hiyuki looks so good,
or Cardathea, or any of the important characters, you're literally set for life. Imagine in the Genshin shop, you can purchase sequences for Farina, for Mabuika, or any of these other characters. It would be absurd. Kuro Games also had a weapon banner that did not go through the same journey as Genshin, right? The weapon banner is guaranteed from day one. So imagine how much revenue Kuro Games lost because their weapon banner had a pity at all. Genshin's never had a pity, and Kuro did. Kuro literally lost hundreds of millions of dollars because of the generosity in the beginning. So it's...
He says in the beginning... Hold on. Yes. He says in the beginning, like, those things are gone. Bro, we still have the Coral Shop. We still have no 50-50 on weapon banner. What are we talking about? You can't say, bro. You can't say Kuro lost hundreds of millions of dollars because of their generosity in giving us no 50-50 weapons, right? And giving us the Coral Shop, and then say that they have now become, how is it? Growing in their levels of greed because they added some bike skins, some character skins that people been asking for, and some stupid ass doo-doo cosmetics that you don't even gotta buy. If you think that Kuro Games is going to somehow be able to beat Genshin Impact's revenue by releasing some goddamn $10 bike skins and some glasses for Lene, you're dumb. And Kuro Games, a company that makes millions of dollars, is not dumb enough to be like, yeah, we're gonna generate millions of dollars with these glasses. Like, that's just an extra little thing to give them an extra little bit of income, but also give more stuff to the game.
It's not even comparable between the two games. The second is the standard banner in Kuro Games allows you to separate the two banners and target a standard banner weapon. And one of the greatest weapons in the game has always been this sword and the gun. And whenever a new character comes out, Kuro knows that if they make the character have a sword, or if they make the character have a gun, and they are like a regular scaling character, players will default to that weapon, saving even more money. So despite the fact that the weapon banner is already more generous than Genshin, you don't even have to resort to it because there are fantastic alternatives on the side that allow you to clear the content anyway. So Kuro Games started out being so generous that the only way to continue to make money over time is to become more greedy, obviously. I'm not excusing Kuro's behavior on all of these bike skins and this absolutely disgusting Cyberpunk collab rewriting of the rules. But it is a minor explanation on how Kuro has changed. They've effectively said to themselves, listen guys, we were so generous in the beginning that the rules have to change if we want to continue competing with all of these upper AAA gachas, okay? At the end of the day, it's not even clear to me how to end a video like this, because I don't hold any animosity towards Wuthering Waves, despite all of the egregious things they did in the Cyberpunk collab, or the increasing amount of skins. I'm not angry about it, I'm not emotional about it, so it's not as though the end of this video will be, F Wuthering Waves or anything like that. But it is clear that Kuro has kind of admitted inferiority in generating character revenue than other AAA games. And they're resorting to the tactics you'd see in other small AAA gachas in order to squeeze as much money out of you as possible. Now, this is not even all of these things Kuro Games is doing, it's not even the greediest things I've ever seen, right? I mean, Genshin Impact did the most greedy thing I've ever seen in a gacha game of all time, considering its standing. It debuted 2 brand new characters on the same side of a patch, which is disgusting. They debuted Lali and Mabuika, who's an Archon, brand new characters on the same side of a patch. I've never seen that before. Imagine if Wuthering Waves, by comparison, debuted Augusta and Yuno, who were in the patch 2.6, I think, on the same side of the patch, and the second side was reruns. It doesn't even make any sense. Why would you do...
We literally have Lucy, Rebecca, and Lucilla running right now. All 3 brand new characters. What? We got all 3 brand new characters in one patch running right now. And a rerun of Cardathea, a Sentinel Resonator. All of them running right now. In the same patch, and not just like the same patch, the same half of the patch. Technically, we got Lucy and Rebecca, and 6 days later, we got Lucilla. What? See what, bro?
That's literally rewriting the rules in a way I've never seen before. That makes the Cyberpunk collab look like a baby compared to what Genshin did in that moment. So if we were to compare pound for pound levels of greed, Genshin has its own fair share of examples.
All of these games do.
What can you say? Except, wow, Jesus Christ. What A game.
All right. All right. Let me say some things before I finish off this video. Bro, this has been like a 2-hour video, bro. If you made it this far into the video, type pineapple in the chat, bro. If you type pineapple, I know you made it this far. Type something else, not just pineapple. But yeah, to finish off my statements on this, first off, analytical vibes. Hey, by all means, go ahead and do your video. But there are some things you're going to have to hear from me, or at least I'm going to say. First and foremost, fuck you for not bringing up transducers. How is it that the transducers, being such a dog shit item, barely gets the hate or the attention that it deserves? You made an entire video about the levels of greed of Wuthering Waves and you didn't bring up transducers. You gotta be stupid, bro. Let me just break it down for you guys that don't know what the fuck a transducer is. A transducer is an item that you can use to re-roll the substats on your gear. Now, that's amazing. Re-rolling the substats on your gear is freaking amazing. Let me just break down the levels of greed applied by Kuro Games, right? Okay, to get a transducer right now, you can only do it in one of two ways. One, using the limited fancy coral, the same coral that he was hyping up where you can get dupes of characters, right? You use that coral to get transducers. They sell you 2 for a discount, an amazing discount. I believe it's 30 coral, 30 for 1, and you can only buy 2 every patch. So that's 60 coral. The regular price of a transducer, I believe, is like 60 coral, bro. Meaning that if you get like 5 transducers, that's almost a full character dupe. Close to it at least, right? With that said, we have 2 types of coral. The ones that are easier to get, that you get for free, and then the ones that are expensive where you get character dupes. They didn't even add transducers to the free coral shop, the cheaper coral shop. They added it only to the exclusive. Then they added transducers to the Cyberpunk collab coral shop that already gives you less coral, and it's also 60. So coral, once again, and the fancy rare one. Ain't nobody using that. Oh, and second, there's another way that you can get transducers, and that's quite simple. You do the same rebate spending event that he was bitching about for the cosmetics. For that same event, where you got like Hiyuki's little flowers on his head, if you spend, summoned on that event during that event's duration, you would get the currency and you can get 2 transducers from there as well. But if you didn't summon enough, you couldn't get them, bro. So that alone is the biggest fuck you, in my opinion, that WUWA has. Not skins, not bike skins, not a fucking Halo on Mornier. The fuck kind of argument is that? It's transducers all the way. Why not add transducers to the battle pass? 2 on the free side, another 2 on the paid side. Why not add transducers to events, giving us 1 or 2 per patch? 1 in the first half, another 1 in the second half of a patch. Why don't they do that? Now that's what I'm talking about, greed and some bullshit, right? To end off the video, though, I do want to say there are some things that I do agree with you on that I think are good, like, the whole call out of the Cyberpunk collab when it comes to their corals and their summons and all of that. That's dog shit. And then there are other things that I think that either you're flat out being a tactical genius and generating rage bait within the community by providing misinformation and things that are clearly not well researched, or you're a dumbass and you put yourself out there to get gutted raw dog by every single WUWA creator that gets into drama. I'm 100% sure you've already been covered by good old titty tontas, bro. So, man, maybe do your videos a little bit better regarding controversial topics like this. Stop bringing Genshin, WUWA, Hoyo, all these other bro, stick to the topic of the game you're covering. It's going to be much easier, and do a little bit more research, because some of the things on here were downright misinformation bullshit. But if you did enjoy this video, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications. I enjoyed it. It was a long one. Holy shit. I love you guys. I'll be back to streaming this week. Peace.